The next on the agenda is the President's Report, which is where I get to update everybody on some of the things of interest that have been going on at the district over the spring break, and I hope everybody enjoyed the break and they came back refreshed and re-energized. I wanted to make a couple of acknowledgements. Just so there's no action being taken tonight in regards to Mr. Geller. This was informational only, so we were here to listen. So that's why I appreciate that, if anybody's wondering what's going to happen next. To continue, first I wanted to go to the end of our dais to Miss Nellie Perez. I am so immensely impressed. So everybody knows she has been chosen as the 2018-2019 New Jersey Special Education Administrator of the Year. That's statewide. That's not just an accolade within the district. I also wanted to congratulate Dr. Rawls, which I don't think he's here, but I do want to give him a shout out. He was honored by the Men's Ministry of St. Mark AME Zion Church for his contributions and dedication to the community. So a shout out to him, although he's not here. And certainly, maybe last but not least, Dr. Micah, who sits in my lap, humbly is receiving an award on Friday, his second in 2 years, from the Community Alliance Resource Center. I believe I got that right. And he will be honored on Friday at a gala in Eatontown. So congratulations to you, Dr. Micah. And I think that speaks to the great strides that this district is making in the last 4 years since Dr. Micah has been here. Additionally, in terms of the financial end of our life as a district, Ms. Esposito and myself met with Senator Thompson, I'm not sure where we left off at the last meeting, as well as Assemblyman Dancer in Clifton, and we discussed our budget concerns for next year, and hopefully we will see some action from that. In the meantime, we were invited on May 8th in the afternoon to meet with the Commissioner of the Department of Education to further go into some of the things that this district's been able to accomplish, which are certainly great in number, as well as our need for money so that we can continue to move forward with our curriculum. With that, I think that's all I have for my report. And if I can make a congratulations, which I can't believe I actually forgot about that, as I saw Mr. Macalino had in front of him a Stanford folder. Congratulations for your commitment to the university. I wish you luck and lots of congratulations.
With beautiful weather in full swing, the students of our district are able to enjoy many outdoor events and interactions with different cultures and even exotic animals. The community has also been avid in raising funds for various organizations, such as Relay for Life. At Cambridge Park, the Shoah Grasso Sensory Pathway is nearing completion, with many thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Lasko, Officer Griffith, Mr. Bloss and the civic leaders, and Mrs. Nielsen in the Junior Honor Society. The dedication for the pathway is scheduled for Friday, May 10th, 11 a.m. at Cambridge Park. The annual Day of Fun is scheduled for Thursday, May 23rd, supported and organized in big part by the Cambridge PTO. At Strathmore on April 17th, the director from the Eyes of the Wild education team brought some amazing animals to share with the students and taught them about exotic animals and animal preservation. Students met a potbelly pig, skunk, porcupine, chinchilla, and a wallaby. The assembly was hosted again by the wonderful PTO. The second grade students will be visiting Jenkinson's on May 6th for their annual class trip. The kindergarten students will be visiting Wemrock Farm, and the first grade students will be visiting All Air Farm. Students will enjoy a great session of physical activity on May 22nd for Strathmore's Day of Fun. At Cliffwood, the Kids Heart Challenge, formerly known as the Jump Rope for Heart, was a large success, organized by Mrs. Bowman. Cliffwood community raised $7,198 to donate to the American Heart Association. During Autism Awareness Week, the Through Eyes art show received great reviews, and the student bagel sale raised $246 for the Autism MVP Foundation. Cliffwood has also taken the opportunity to learn from each other in pineapple visits, which promote hospitality and openness between fellow teachers. The Unique Creatures Assembly allowed the students to learn about many kinds of wild animals, and the PTO's annual Mother's Day plant sale is happening this week. So remember, come out to Cliffwood for an amazing selection of plants and flowers. At Ravine Drive, an author visit is scheduled for May 9th with renowned author Supita Bardam-Wallen, who has written several books such as Snoring Beauty, Chicks Run Wild, and Tyrannosaurus Rex. The students will participate in an event of physical activity on May 20th, Monday. Kindergarten students will also go strawberry picking at Wemrock Farm next week. At Lloyd Road, the community held a school-wide art show on April 11th, which had a selection of pieces from each student, with some available for sale as well. The annual Lloyd Road basketball game is set for May 2nd at 6:30, which supports Relay for Life. All fifth grade students will be viewing the movie Screenager and have a follow-up discussion on balancing technology in their everyday lives. The April students of the month will also have a luncheon on May 3rd for exhibiting the character of trustworthiness. At the middle school, the incoming sixth grade students will be visiting the middle school on May 15th and 16th. The yearbook club is currently looking for willing artists to create their cover art for the yearbook. Language trips to various restaurants will happen very soon, and the eighth graders are excited for this cultural immersion. The Addams Family was a huge hit, which took place on April 12th through 14th. The production, led by Mr. Wells, did an amazing performance. At the high school, the Spring Musical Newsies, which took place on April 4th through 7th, was a huge hit. The Newsies will be bringing part of their production to both the Teen Arts State Festival and the Monmouth County Arts event at Two River Theater. And just today, it's been announced that the Spring Musical Newsies has received 17 nominations from Count Basie, also including Outstanding Musical, which means that the talented cast of Newsies will also be bringing their show to the Count Basie stage. We have exciting acceptances as well to colleges such as NYU, Bucknell, MIT, Stanford, and Princeton. The Performing Arts Academy will be held, Academy Night will be held this Wednesday, May 1st, and the Dance Academy Night will be held Wednesday, May 15th. Heritage Night, which will host entertainment and cuisine from all different types of cultures, will be held in the high school cafeteria on May 7th, and the annual Relay for Life event will take place Saturday, May 18th. And it's hard to believe that there are only 2 short months left to the school year, but I expect many more amazing spring and summer events to happen shortly. Thank you.
Why don't you take 2, Mr. Bombardier, our curriculum introduction.
Thank you. Good evening. Beginning with Part A, travel. 2 staff members attending the NJPSA Legal 1 workshop. 2 staff members attending the preschool open house of Tools of the Mind curriculum at no cost. 2 staff members attending the New Jersey Association of School Administrators Spring Leadership Conference. 1 staff member attending the opioid crisis workshop at no cost. 1 counselor attending the Department of Ed Sandy Hook Promise training workshop at no cost. 1 counselor attending the Monmouth County Guidance Directors Association meeting at no cost. 4 staff members attending the New Jersey Association of Federal Program Administrators annual conference. 1 staff member attending the Director of Athletics Association of New Jersey certification course. 1 staff member attending the Regional PD Academy on engaging students in deeper learning at no cost. And 1 teacher attending the Mercer County Holocaust Genocide and Human Rights Workshop at no cost. And that's Part A, travel. Moving on to Part B. There have been no additions since the COW. Thank you.
Do I have a motion and a second to approve the curriculum agenda?
Motion.
I'll second.
Do I have any questions or comments on the curriculum agenda? Seeing none, Ms. Perez, can you take us through special services?
Sure, thank you. Good evening. Under Special Services, item number 1, we have additional items in red that begin on page 3 and continue on page 4. The items listed for board approval are tuition and/or extraordinary services adjustment for the 2017-18 school year due to a recent audit that the schools listed received, and the amounts are listed along with the accounts. Under item number 2, we have one additional item in red as listed for one student to attend an out-of-district placement. Under item number 3, we're asking the board to approve the following evaluator on an as-needed basis for the 2018-19 school year for educational evaluations, psychological evaluations at the rates noted, effective dates back to April 12th for the remainder of the school year. Under item number 4, we're asking the board to approve bedside instruction for the following student listed below at New Hope Integrated Behavioral Health Care with the cost listed along with the effective dates. Under item number 5, we're asking for board approval for the following service provider to provide one-to-one RN nursing services for the following student that attends an out-of-district placement with the cost listed along with the effective dates listed for the remainder of the school year. That concludes special services.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the special services agenda?
I'll motion.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments regarding special services agenda? Seeing none, Mr. Lehman, can you take us through personnel?
Yes, thank you. Good evening. Under Personnel, Section A, Resignations and Retirements, there are additional resignations listed in red. This also includes one retirement. Under Section B, Leave of Absence, changes in red begin on page 2 of 6 and continue on page 3 of 6. I'd like to point out to the board and for Mr. Farrar for the minutes, on page 3 of 6, Melissa Pasiglia, your effective date should read 3/11/19 through 5/17/19 retroactive. And Jennifer Gregg, under type of leave, should list personal leave rather than medical leave. Under C, appointments, no change to item number 1. Item number 2, college student observers, teachers, interns for the 2018-2019 school year. We have one additional name listed in red. This is a school counseling intern for the fall. Under Section 3, home instruction for the 18-19 school year, 3 additional students have been listed in red. On page 5 of 6, under extracurricular activities for the 18-19 school year, 1 staff member is listed in red under non-athletic activities. No changes to items 6 or 7. On page 6 of 6, item number 4 in red are for summer practices, camps, and clinics for the 2019-2020 school year. This is for fall, winter, and spring extracurricular sports and clubs. The rationale for this is to adhere to NJSIAA guidelines where coaches will be permitted to work with their student athletes during an out-of-season period. This is effective June 10th, 2019 to September 1st, 2019. That concludes the personnel agenda.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve the personnel agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Are there any comments or questions, discussion regarding the personnel agenda? Seeing none, Mr. Lehman, can you take us through policy?
Yes, under policy for this evening, we recommend to the board to approve for second reading and adoption following policies and regulations. These are policies for the 2000 series, 5000 series, and 8000 series as listed. That concludes the policy agenda.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the policy agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Are there any comments or questions concerning the policy agenda? Seeing none. Which one do you guys want? I'm going to ask Mr. Ferrera to begin the finance agenda.
Thank you. Before we move on to the finance portion of the agenda, as part of the statutory requirement for the public hearing on the budget, Dr. Micah is going to speak to some of the initiatives program initiatives in the proposed budget for the 2019-2020 year.
Thank you, Alex. Over the past 3 months, Alex has spent a considerable amount of time discussing where we're generating our revenue for the budget. Tonight, we're going to talk about how that money is going to be spent. So, over the course of the last few months, the budget managers worked closely with the superintendent to develop an educationally and fiscally sound student-centered budget that's focused on expenditures closely aligned with the needs of our students. Some of the programs and resources and initiatives that the district will continue to emphasize this year, we will be writing curriculum in K-12 over the summer. We will be utilizing Learning Ally in K-8, Learning A to Z in K-5. We're bringing in Lucy Calkins units of studies, grade K through first, New Zella, Reading in grade 6 through 12, Brain Pop and Brain Pop Junior in the elementary levels, Studies Weekly, New English textbooks at the high school, and New English composition textbooks at the high school. Our intervention and support programs, we are going to continue to support and enhance our Orton Gillingham, Lyndon Moon Bell foundations, our sheltered instruction, our foundations training, our Orton Gillingham training, and our iReady online programs. Continuing, we'll be rewriting some curriculum in the K-5. We will be getting foundation teacher kits in K-1. We will be introducing reflex fact fluency, and in, I just lost my spot. The reflex and fact fluency in 1st through 5th, sorry about that. Gizmos, which is an online math and science simulations in grades 4 through 8. Once again, Brain Pop and Brain Pop Junior in K-5. Mystery Science in K-5. Connected Ed Online for Everyday Math, 4th edition. And math program pilots in our K-5 classes. Continuing, we will be curriculum writing in 6 through 12. STEM scopes in grades 6 through 8. Gizmos in online math and science simulations, 4 through 8. Expansion of the STEAM electives at the middle school. And if anyone has questions on these specifically, Mr. Bombardier or Ms. Perez would be more than happy to answer any specific questions you may have regarding those programs. As far as management of the district goes, we utilize Rubicon Atlas curriculum mapping software, Lincoln Data Assessment and Management System, which we introduced last year, real-time evaluation, lesson planner, gradebook, SGO, PDP, and CSC modules will be continuing to use as well. Our professional development and coaching for next year, we will continue our Readers and Writers Workshop in grades K through 5, continue to work Gillingham coaching in grades K through 5, iReady reading diagnostics in K through 5, math coaching and PD in grades 6 through 8, ELA coaching and PD in grades 6 through 12, the workshop model ELA in grades 6 through 8, co-teaching in 6 through 12, co-teaching in K through 12, and professional development memberships K through 12, which include our Regional PD Academy, NJA, GC, NSTA, ASCD, ACTFL, and I'm sure Mr. Bombardier can give you the specifics on each one of those. Special services and program initiatives, we will continue to be utilizing effective school solutions for the high school and the middle school, which is a therapeutic support services for general education and special education students facing mental health challenges. We will be bringing in a PT speech language specialist to Cambridge Park Preschool. We will be continuing our high school transition program, 18 to 21-year-old, designated teacher for instruction and community-based instruction. Continuing with special services, as we mentioned before, we'll continue to utilize New Zella at the middle school and high school, the ALEX program in middle school math, Rethink, Unique Learning, and continue the Keys Academy Recovery High School, which is based on grant funding, which we're still waiting on. And As far as the child study team goes, we have updated testing and protocols coming in next year, and additional testing material to determine students' ability levels in various academic areas and to guide their instruction. Extracurricular, we have our ESY summer program, we have a middle school credit recovery program, our high school credit recovery program, our Title I kindergarten readiness program, our Title III ESL summer program, and our Title I reading program, which will all take place over the summer. As far as personnel goes, we're going to continue to build relationships with area colleges and universities for recruiting a diverse and talented staff. We're going to maintain meaningful and targeted professional development opportunities for pre-K through 12 teachers. On the operations and maintenance front, we'll continue the referendum of our HVAC project, which will conclude this summer. We'll do some paving at Lloyd Road and Cliffwood schools. We're going to continue to pursue lighting upgrades for energy efficiency by focusing on high volume usage areas to introduce LED lighting, which we've already started to do. And we were going to keep pushing further with our preventive maintenance schedule to ensure the life of our buildings. From a technology and infrastructure standpoint, we will continue bringing in Frontline and IEP Direct. We are looking at internet firewalls, new network switches, continue our Chromebook initiative, purchase Chromebook parts, Chromebook devices, and some more Promethean boards. And now I would open up to any questions there. Thank you. Anybody have questions? Thank you.
Mr. Ferrer, do you want to continue with finance?
Thank you. So we'll start off on page 1 of 5. Number 4 is the actual resolution to approve the budget for the 1920 year with the appropriate funds to be raised and the taxes to be raised. Number 5 is the authorization for the superintendent to and the students administrator to go ahead and implement the 1920 budget subject to number 4 passing. Number 7 is the recommendation for 3 routes at Cambridge Park for the 1920 year. That is to number 6. We had already kind of covered the resolution, but I believe the only name that was missing was Marley contracted for that resolution. And that is for HVAC equipment and also repair and maintenance of cafeteria equipment. I'm sorry. So number 7 is, like I was saying, the recommendation for routes for Cambridge Park for the 1920 year as part of the implementation of the new policy. Number 8 is engineering and bid specifications designed by the architect and engineer. This is especially important for the parking lots at Cliffwood and Lloyd Road to do core sampling. Number 11, which is the next one that has changes since the COW, is additional items to be put on for disposition of property. Number 12, this is a new resolution, which is an agreement with Monmouth to establish an athletic trainer intern program. This was recommended by Mr. Eiler and Mrs. Alberzi as part of some conversations that we had with Monmouth University. So it's an intern program that allows us to kind of have the candidates from Monmouth University shadow our athletic trainer, and also allows us to utilize their services as substitute athletic trainers if need arises. Number 13 is the annual submission of the MJC safety grant. We don't have our allocation yet for this year. This gives us the approval to kind of start moving forward and start sketching out exactly what our needs are based upon Mr. Ira as a school safety specialist, as well as Mr. Google from an IT standpoint. Typically, this is something that we use for security introduction and installation of new security cameras. So that concludes the finance agenda.
Do I have a motion and a second to approve the finance agenda?
All
moved.
I'll second.
Are there any questions, comments, or any discussion on the board regarding the agenda for finance?
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Mackey?
Just regarding the budget overall, thank you for the presentation. And from what I, gathered from the presentation, it would seem that we are presenting that you are presenting something that maintains and enhances curricularly and across settings. I didn't see any significant personnel things on there, just with regard to an additional part-time speech person, I think, at Cambridge. So beyond that, we should expect that that's basically a maintained type of situation that we find ourselves in.
Absolutely. Unless we were to get a windfall from the state at this point. Yes. Absolutely. That's exactly right. Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Any other questions regarding the finance agenda? At this point, we move to the public comments on the agenda items. Are there any public comments? If you could just state your name and your address.
Caroline Carvalho, 15 Hythe Lane in Aberdeen. My request to the board is that when you break for executive session and discuss the administration's recommendations for non-renewal of teacher contracts, that you look at each teacher on the list individually. Even more specifically, please note the teachers and support professionals that have worked for the district for almost 4 years and would have received tenure in the next contract year. Is there an unusually high percentage? If any of these staff members have received nothing but effective or even highly effective ratings for the prior 3 years on their summative reviews, have no disciplinary actions against them, and have not had a corrective action plan put into place, please take some time before approving this rehire list as is. And even though I know it's not part of the board's purview to be directly involved in nitty-gritty of the day-to-day action of our district, please take some time and maybe come observe some of these staff members, talk to their co-workers, and see for yourself what kind of teachers they are. I know that teachers can request a hearing before the board, just as Mr. Gallo did. But sometimes they're just too shell-shocked to do so. They think it's already a done deal. And you know that it's not. It just takes 5 votes to change a decision. If we're not cutting staff for budgetary reasons, then the only reason we should cut staff is for cause. Again, look at the personnel file of these teachers. And if they have nothing but good reviews, have no disciplinary actions, and have not had a chance to amend whatever reasons there were not to rehire them, then why are they not being rehired? These are teachers that have been on the district SCIP committee, members of the DIAC committee, and honored by the governor. As a parent of a child in the district and a taxpayer, I believe that we should have quality, experienced teachers. We do not want to be known as a district that hires teachers but fires them before tenure. That leads to new teachers accepting jobs but still looking for a better place to work. We want to be known as a great school district with experienced staff that loves their jobs and wants to make our district their career.
Are there any other public comments on agenda items? Seeing none, Mr. Farrer, can you proceed with the votes on action items?
Thank you. So we'll start off with curriculum and instruction as presented by Mr. Belvedere. Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Lane?
Yes.
Mr. Monzon?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Mackey?
Yes.
Ms. Raylan?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yeah.
Ms. Freeman?
Yes.
Thank you. Special services? Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Lane?
Yes.
Mr. Monzon?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Mackey?
Yes.
Ms. Raylan?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yeah.
Ms. Freeman?
Yes.
Thank you. Personnel with the edits that identified by Mr. Regan. Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Lane?
Yes.
Ms. Monzon?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Ms. Nappy?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Policy, Ms. Rader?
Yes.
Dr. Lane?
Yes.
Mr. Monzone?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nappy?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
And Finance, Ms. Rader?
Yes.
Dr. Lane?
Yes.
Mr. Monzone?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Nappy?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Ms. Esposito?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Thank you.
With that, I would ask the board, is there any unfinished business that anybody wants to address? Seeing none, is there any new business? Ms. Esposito?
I just realized that the upcoming delegate assembly for the spring is coming in mid-May, I believe it's 16th. And I just wanted to put out to the board and ask for permission to do my final delegate assembly. I know we have 2 votes, so obviously there's an opportunity for someone else to come as well. But this will be my final delegate assembly report on that, sorry. Put it out.
And is this the, what you were explaining in a prior meeting, or is?
No, that was the Future Ready School.
Okay. Can you explain what this is a little
The
bit?
delegate assembly, usually what happens twice a year is that proposals are put for an assembly of representatives of all the districts in the state school boards. And then it's put on the floor, much like you would see in the legislative body, and discussed, and amendments are made, and people vote to direct school boards to take up action either with the state school board or with advocacy in the state government. There's a copy of the proposals we usually put out quite publicly, but also to board members ahead of time so you're able to see what it is that's on their agenda for a vote. Generally speaking, I haven't seen anything terribly controversial come up in those sessions. But it would be nice to be able to complete that process that I started years ago. I know Ms. Gaffney has gone to one, and I know Mr. Kelly has gone to one, so we definitely still have spots for another assembly delegate.
Do you need consensus for you to go, or?
Well, I just, generally speaking, I put it out, I wanted the board's consent to go, to participate, just because I don't assume that I should be the person that's voting for the board solely, so.
What I would ask is, you certainly have my permission to go, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. If there is anybody else interested, please, if you could reach out to Ms. Esposito. If we have a second slot, it would also be good to have someone that is actually Ms. Esposito's final decision that she's not going to go another term, to be ready to assume that role if need be. So thank you for putting that out there.
Mrs. Friedman? I attended the last delegate assembly. There was no action taken at that assembly. There were no motions or legislation items before the legislative body. I have absolutely personally no problem with Mrs. Esposito attending, and if there's somebody that would like to go in my stead, that is a burning desire to go, by all means, I can absolutely defer. So if there is someone who has such an interest, please do give a shout out.
Okay, so at least we filled those 2 seats. Any other new business? Moving to then public comments on any other additional items.
Quinn Boggs, 793 Prospect Ave. I just wanted to bring one thing up real quick. At the last meeting, towards the end of SNAP, we had mentioned possibly moving forward with reviewing the opportunity for people to see policies for second reads. One of the things that I noticed when I saw the policy come out on the morning of, I guess, April 9th, is that the points list for transportation for the hazardous route was different than the previous point list that was put forth for the first reading. The changes are neither here nor there, but the thing is had that point list been available, some of the questions and some of the discussion would have been different. I know that Ms. Friedman and I had some discussion back and forth over one of the things, and in hindsight, after seeing that, I understand one of your answers a little bit better, but there's no way I would have been able to review that or understand that at the time of the meeting. So if we can have the policy changes for the second read so people can see them, it would be much easier for the public to make comment and make useful comment.
Just to follow up on that, Ms. Mappy did bring that up under new business item at the last meeting, which is sort of also on her table in terms of the policy in regards to social media. So it is a discussion that I expect once that policy starts rolling, because that's not a mandated policy that is available on stress estimate. It is conformed. I would imagine that would be when we discuss it and revisit it, but I don't know if you have a different answer or a different thought, Ms. Mappy.
No, I was just going to say that I was waiting until the transportation policy piece was completely done and in the books, because when I was trying to schedule that meeting, we weren't getting anywhere because it was the same people. But additionally, just to piggyback off what you said, I think what I was proposing that we consider is just a little bit of a change in our practice in terms of posting not just the agenda, but the policies that are up for first and second reading. And so I would reiterate that that's something that I think we should maybe talk about, and I certainly think we should possibly consider doing, which was what I was sort of referring to last time, not just vis-a-vis the social media policy, but just in general, whether they're stress estimate or not, the new versions that are up for read, to have those at least, not necessarily printed, because that's a lot of paper, but at least posted when we post the agenda. So, my 2.5 cents for what it's worth.
The intent is to follow up on it, it's not forgotten. Are there any other questions concerning any other items, agenda or not, by the public? Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy matters, personnel matters, and potential update. Subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of executive session is estimated to be approximately 20 minutes, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. There will be no action. May I have a motion to move to executive session? May I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are now in executive session.